I'm not sure I explained this good before, but every 4 weeks I get an immunotherapy drug infusion, and every 6 weeks I get scanned for 2 years. And immunotherapy is becoming more of a household name and more of a third option for cancer treatment. It's just not there yet. In my experience, in most people's cancer journey, you start with radiation if it hasn't really spread. If it did spread, you do the carpet bomb, chemo. And then after that, I mean, you know, you just got to kind of find something. Now, immunotherapy is really coming on strong. And what it is it's an infusion of drugs that stimulate your immune system to recognize and to destroy them, in a nutshell. The reason it's not an option yet is because each cancer patient has a histogram, I believe it's called, and it's basically an identity, a location of cancer, stage, type, all those things. And if immunotherapy hasn't been used yet for that specific histogram, then it's not an option yet. And some people it is. I did not fit that mold. My histogram did not fit immunotherapy as an option for me. So that's where these trials come in. In other words, it's not approved yet. It hasn't gone through the stages to get approval, to get FDA approval. So it's done in a clinical trial setting, and that's what I was doing. And the goal is to find more research and more pathways for immunotherapy to reach more people's histograms and as a treatment option, especially in sarcoma treatments, because it's needed and it hasn't gotten there yet. It's not as toxic as chemo, but it doesn't come without risks. So let's get to where we left off on stage 10. I told you about my first 6-week scan. Reduced all my lesions, every one I had. Spine, chest, lungs, they all reduced 20%, which was great, obviously. I remember Dr. Van Tine telling me about immunotherapy, and he said when it works great, but it doesn't always work. So after that first scan's result, I felt like I could breathe a little easier based on that. It felt like it was going in the right direction, and it was working, and working well. He also warned me that generally with immunotherapy, the tumors get bigger before they get smaller. So that first 6-week scan, I was expecting that, and it went in the opposite direction. So that was a good indicator of possible things to come. But we're human. We're sometimes waiting for this other shoe to drop. And there've been a lot of shoes to drop, stages 1 through 9, that you've heard, especially early on. Honestly, probably 3/4 of the race has been nothing but shoes dropping. So going into that next scan and the results, it's always agonizing. It's always nerve-wracking, and you sit in this waiting room in the doctor's office waiting for your doctor to come in and tell you was usually bad news, but, you know, I had finally some good news. And he came in, and drum roll, please. They reduced another 40%. So they're down like 60% in 12 weeks, which is just insane. And this is when I finally started to believe. Because, like I said, I'm human, and I was expecting a fluke. Oh, maybe the CT scan was malfunctioned, or maybe, you know, this is just the universe f***ing with me and getting my hopes up just to bring me back down like it has. But no. I'm down 60%. All my lesions, some of them are gone. I'll get these x-rays of my lungs, and you could actually see them shrink. You know, it's like 6 weeks, here's what they look like. 6 weeks later, here's what they look like. 6 weeks later, here's what they look like. And some of them were disappearing, and the other ones were getting smaller and smaller, each lung, right and left. And there was a sort of an Excel spreadsheet type of chart where you can like see where it started, and you could see the line going downward, which is a great thing. And there was some other information on there, but I started to get to what was called a partial response. I think partial response is like 70% reduction, and it kind of hovered there for a while, but then I set my sights on, I sure want to see complete response, which means 0 complete response. And then I started like wanting that. I started wanting to bite off more than I could chew. I started to want more. I want more. You know, when you win a race, it's a great feeling, but then all of a sudden you want more and you want more. And I may not have won the Tour de Cancer, but I want to win a stage. So come back and see if I get that elusive win. Please like, subscribe, share. On the final stage of this Tour de Cancer, stage 12. Let's go!